From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
Welcome to Up Close and Personal. I'm your host, Chris Budahas. Today's segment is sponsored by All Dry Services of Southeast Jacksonville. Here at the bar, I have Scott Rock with RockIT Solutions, LLC. Scott, how are you?
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, the first thing I want to knock out is the fact you're a veteran with service in the Army. So thank you for your service. You were in the infantry and you were in communication. So you're a rehab infantryman, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah. I had fun shooting the big guns and blowing things up, but catch and return fire was less than thrilling.
Especially in the two-way firefight.
Yeah, absolutely. So I quickly transitioned over into communications, and that's really what started me on my path today.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. What has been your path?
So the last 14 years, I've been growing a business, providing commercial IT support for small businesses.
Yeah.
Really a twist on how IT services are delivered, not just your IT guy, somebody you call when you need, but somebody who's more of a team member and part of a strategic initiative to help that business get through whatever it is.
That's huge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a big need. I spent 8 years working for an IT company up here in Jacksonville. It was owned by an old Army buddy of mine, and we served together at Riley.
Yeah.
And he was a good guy, but he never took his sergeant hat off. Very hard to get along with. It's very rigid. And not that I have a problem with a bit of rigidity.
Yeah.
My own structural requirements, so to speak. But we had a falling out there after a while. And I really loved what I did, but I couldn't stand the environment that we were dealing with. Very high stress, even what we do is high stress anyway.
Yeah.
With the added stress of the helicopter boss.
Oh, yeah.
Scenario.
Yeah.
So I got caught with my financial pants around my ankles around 2011. It was after the recession in 08.
Yeah.
Lost my job, and I had just bought a house. I had just bought a new vehicle.
Wow.
I had a mother. I had to move out to California with some medical issues. Hence,
talk about some stressors. Oh my goodness.
And then I lost my job.
Oh, okay.
So I was in debt at my eyeballs.
Yeah.
I was in debt at my eyeballs. I had all these obligations, and then the job market was not really good.
Yeah.
So I knuckled up, and the first couple of years were real thin. But I got into the local business environment and started to do a little bit of business here and there. Started out doing all residential work.
Yeah.
Whatever I could get to come in to make a few bucks.
Yeah.
And then I slowly pivoted back to that commercial focus. And 4 or 5 years later, I ran into yet another Army vet who's now my ops officer.
Oh.
And in the last 8.5, 9 years, we've been beating the brakes off this thing.
That's great.
And we've been growing 20, 30% every year, year after year.
Yeah.
And we just hired my 7th employee last week.
Congratulations.
Days.
That's huge in the space. I'm a small business owner too. And then, this whole idea of fractional, like I don't need you full time, but I need you part time, and the ability to have a company that provides first class services at the right price point, that matters. And as you know, and I think most of our audience knows, when your IT doesn't work, you're to stop. Everything stops, right?
Yeah. It's not an emergency until it's an emergency.
It's a real crisis, right? So, and there's other companies that are trying to break in this space. You're obviously successful. Like, what's your secret sauce, or what's your value proposition?
So my value proposition is relationships first. We don't want to be just a transaction.
Yeah.
So rather than transactional, I approach it relational. Yeah. So I don't sit down with my clients and talk about, granular, you need this specific piece of equipment. You need this piece of software. We're going to solve it with this, that, or the other thing.
Right.
I have a dialogue.
Yeah.
We talk about business. We talk about challenges. We talk about goals. And then I take that information back, and I've got a business analyst with 30 plus years experience, my operations officer who has his own experiences. And between the three of us, we put together a comprehensive plan to help my client achieve their goals.
There you go.
Yes.
It's funny. We learned out in the military, right? Just tell me what you need to do. Now tell me how to do it.
Something that's been beaten in my brain the last 2 weeks. If you're familiar with that term, adapt and overcome.
Right.
You've got to be agile. You got to be able to pivot, and you got to have feet under you the whole time.
Yeah.
But if you can achieve that, good thing that.
What are some of the maybe one or two things that you're seeing like as trends with your clients that are probably pain points that they're experiencing that you're helping with?
Yeah, absolutely. That's an easy one. Lately, I've been considering ourselves more security consultants than IT people.
Okay.
With the cyber threats that are out there, the prevalence of business email compromise, fraud, financial loss, et cetera, our customers are really coming to us looking for solutions, way to educate their employees, harden their systems, keep folks from clicking on things that they shouldn't, or know that, hey, when I see something that just doesn't look right, I'm going to raise my hand, I'm going to pick the phone, I'm going to call somebody, rather than just sweeping it under the rug. Hoping for the best.
That's good. I mean, they're getting good. These scammers, it's amazing how quickly they're moving, and then the content on which they're doing it, which is pretty damn scary. Yeah. And then you see like Colonial Pipeline a couple of years back and all these other cyber, that's a big news. But the reality of it, a lot of smaller businesses are suffering as a result because they just don't know what they don't know until they bring somebody like you in to help.
Well, and to add insult to injury is a lot of these smaller organizations, they don't think they're target because they're too small to be worried about, or they lean heavy on the fact that, hey, this stuff is expensive. I'm not going to take the time or the expense to invest in these security systems, whatever it is. And on that first point, I think that there's nothing further from the truth. Those mom and pop shops, those 5 to 20 user networks, which are our sweet spot. Those are the exact targets that these bad actors are going after because they don't have those additional resources that big corporations do. They don't have the millions of dollars in IT budget and security platforms and security awareness training, et cetera. So they're more at risk than anything else.
Wow.
And they have money too.
So
I hear it almost weekly.
I imagine. Man, thanks for coming on, Scott. I appreciate, number one, your service to the nation. Number two, what you're doing for our community and our small businesses, because as we all know, small businesses are actually the engine that drive the entire economy here. So how do folks find you and how do they find RockIT?
Well, they can go online. They go to rockithelp.com. That's RockIT.com. It is a play on my last name.
Yes, it is.
Rock, we do IT. Rocket, kind of a NASA space nerd.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You live on a space coast. Why not?
Absolutely. We're always call 904-429-5104. And one of my guys will pick up the phone and help you out.
That's awesome, Scott. Thank you for Service Nation. Thanks for what you're doing in the IT field. So we want to encourage folks to reach out to you and me, connect us on LinkedIn, and then check you guys out at RockIT. So, all right. Hey, folks, we'll see you our next Up Close and Personal Live with Gratitude.
My name is Todd Marshall, and I own All Dry Services of Southeast Jacksonville. We serve all of Northeast Florida. Every day, our business is doing the more mundane, but yet sometimes catastrophic issues. These can be plumbing leaks, they can be sewage backups. A bathtub overflows, somebody leaves the sink running. So we have a 24/7 response. If you call us, you're going to get a live person, and you try to get out there as quick as possible so that we can minimize the damage.